The CIA, since its inception, had shrouded itself in dark operations, undercover missions, and top-secret information kept away from public awareness for decades. But among these declassified documents flooded to light in recent years, few have captured popular fascination and intrigue as much as those related to the agency's investigations into paranormal phenomena, unidentified flying objects, otherwise known as UFOs, and other mysterious events. The files, in effect, represent the CIA's X-Files, in a very figurative and loose sense of the term. Interesting things usually perpetuated by conspiracy theorists, science fiction enthusiasts, and paranormal scholars. From Cold War-era espionage involving UFO sightings to government experiments into psychic phenomena, these declassified files paint a fascinating picture of the CIA's forays into the unexplained. Whether out of a genuine belief in the supernatural or strategic concerns, it would appear that the CIA's involvement in such phenomena can reveal an uncomfortably deep relationship between national security and the paranormal. In this deep dive into the CIA's declassified X-Files, we explore some of the most captivating and mind-blowing episodes, including the agency's inquiries into unidentified flying objects, psychic experiments under Project Stargate, and the hunt for extraterrestrial life. The following accounts give an insight into some of the most unusual operations conducted by the Central Intelligence Agency, and in fact, leave more questions than they answer, feeding speculation about what the government really knows of the unknown. CIA and UFOs, are there strategic concerns, disinformation, and Cold War fears? One of the most famous aspects of the declassified CIA files involves UFOs. In the 1940s and 1950s, as the Cold War was heating up, UFO sightings became a great point of interest for the United States government. Many of these were reported by military personnel and commercial pilots, who described seeing strange, unidentified craft performing maneuvers which no known aircraft could perform. National security concerns provided the impetus for the CIA's initial interest in UFOs. During the Cold War, the United States government was suspicious that some of these flying object sightings might somehow be connected with secret Soviet technology, advanced aircraft or missiles that could give the USSR a strategic advantage. In 1952, the CIA commissioned a panel composed of scientists and intelligence officials, which came to be known as the Robertson Panel, to investigate the growing number of UFO sightings. The panel came to the conclusion that while most of the reports could be explained by natural phenomena, it recommended that the CIA should monitor UFO reports as a means to ward off any potential threat against national security. While the panel of Robertson, therefore, sought to downplay the significance of flying saucers, their sightings remained a matter of deep involvement by the CIA for many subsequent years. Indeed, declassified documents have shown that the CIA continued to keep a close watch on reported UFO sightings within the United States and abroad. In fact, the agency even joined the efforts of discrediting the flying saucer sightings through disinformation campaigns, further fueling the conspiracy theories about how the US government had handled the UFO matter. Perhaps the most famous incident with UFOs to have ever involved the CIA occurred in 1947, the so-called Roswell incident. Officially described as a crashed weather balloon, many conspiracy theorists maintain that the US government recovered a crashed flying saucer and its alien occupants. It turns out that declassified documents show the CIA was aware of, and sometimes used, the public's fascination with UFOs to disguise secret military activities. For instance, some now claim that the incident could relate to secret military tests, and thus nothing to do with extraterrestrial contacts, for which the story with the flying saucer served only as camouflage. Project MKUltra, the CIA's dark venture into mind control and the paranormal. Another of the CIA declassified X-Files involves one of the most infamous programs in its history, Project MKUltra. This top-secret project, starting in the 1950s, was supposed to study the capabilities of controlling minds by using drugs, psychological techniques, and even paranormal studies. The most infamous MKUltra experiments are those that use LSD on unwitting subjects in an attempt to manipulate them into behaving at choice and breaking down mental defenses. Less well known, however, is that psychic phenomena also form some part of the CIA MKUltra lore. The agency funded research into telepathy, clairvoyance, and other forms of extrasensory perception. While these experiments may sound fanciful, the CIA was motivated by accounts that were indicative of the Soviet Union engaging in research to such an extent that there was a fear the latter would develop techniques for mind control or psychic warfare. One infamous aspect of MKUltra was an attempt on the part of the CIA to create psychic spies who could gather intelligence remotely through paranormal means. Although the program was officially closed down in the 1970s, it is one that the CIA simply can't shake. Through declassified documents, it showed that the agency had known about the extra-humanly unethical experiments done on human subjects. Many of these were subjects with long-term psychological and physical damage. MKUltra remains one of the darkest chapters in CIA history, and its inclusion here in the X-Files underlines an agency ready, willing, and even eager to explore the mind of the human for power and control. The Stargate Project, remote viewing and psychic espionage. Another case in point about the CIA's use of paranormal research was the Stargate Project, intended to utilize the powers of remote viewing for intelligence. Remote viewing is the reputed capability to perceive information about targets that are not within immediate physical perception by the viewer. This could be a location, object, or person which might be separated from the viewer by distance, time, or other obstacles. The CIA, headed by a number of agencies such as the DIA, financed in-depth research into remote viewing as a part of a broader investigation into psychic phenomena during the 1970s. The Stargate Project enrolled supposed psychics into controlled experiments in which they were asked to describe places and events that were kept secret from them. In a few instances, the remote viewers even described accurately. They claimed certain secret Soviet installations and other military targets. These reports convinced some officials that remote viewing might be an especially valuable tool of espionage. While many scientists remained skeptical of remote viewing and other forms of ESP, the Stargate Project would go on well into the 1,990 essay span of over 2 decades. Declassified documents would later show that while the CIA came to the conclusion that remote viewing was not a reliable method of intelligence gathering, the depth of investment by the agency in that project showed it was very interested in exploring unconventional means of espionage. Probably the most famous of Stargate's remote viewers, Ingo Swann reportedly described a secret Soviet weapons facility with startling accuracy. Despite occasional successes, however, the results of the program were largely inconclusive, and its recent declassification has only helped spur arguments anew regarding the merits of psychic phenomena for application in both military and intelligence fields. UFO sightings during the Cold War. The CIA's global investigation. During the Cold War, UFO sightings throughout the world were not limited to the United States. Because the sightings might indicate advanced Soviet technology, the CIA approached the investigation of UFOs from a worldwide perspective. Declassified files detail that the agency tracked reports from military personnel, pilots and civilians in the Soviet Union, China, and Europe. But arguably most intriguing of all were cases involving UFO sightings near nuclear facilities in both the US and the Soviet Union. In some instances, strange craft were reported hovering over missile silos and nuclear power plants, which engendered speculation that these UFOs were interested in the world's nuclear capabilities. While most of these sightings were eventually explained to be misidentified aircraft or natural phenomena, others remain unexplained, serving as continued fuel for speculation about the truth from the CIA about extraterrestrial life. The declassified UFO files also shed light on the agency's role in managing the public's perceptions of the phenomenon. For years, the CIA worked with the US Air Force to investigate and then debunk UFO sightings through programs like Project Blue Book. But today, the agency's involvement in disinformation campaigns, spreading false information about sightings to obscure secret military projects, has only deepened public suspicion that the government is hiding something. The CIA and the search for extraterrestrial life, SETI, and beyond. Beyond its UFO interests, the CIA has also taken part in efforts to detect other intelligent life in the universe through the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence program. When scientists in the 1960s and 1970s began using radio telescopes to scan the skies for signals from advanced alien civilizations, the CIA watched the efforts carefully. Much of the work in SETI has been done by civilian scientists, but the CIA's interest reflects the strategic interest in the possibility of extraterrestrial contact. Declassified documents show that the CIA supported a few early experiments of SETI with technical help and monitored the results for any possible implications for national security. While no concrete evidence of extraterrestrial life was determined, the CIA interest in SETI demonstrates that the agency was ready to consider every possibility in its quest to protect US interests. The agency also included in its files unexplained signals that come from deep space. Most of these signals were attributed to natural causes, but most still remain unexplained. Hence, speculations continue to support the thought of advanced civilizations elsewhere in this universe. Conclusion. The declassified X-files of the CIA expose its sometimes unsettlingly surreal side, an agency that seems to have been more than happy to go far out on a limb in pursuit of national security. From UFO investigations to psychic espionage and the testing of mind control, such files show how often the CIA has gone where few have previously gone, often blurring that line which separates science fiction from reality. Many of these investigations met with skepticism and controversy, but the productions offered a unique view of the agency's mindset during and after the Cold War. The CIA's X-Files is still capturing the imagination of the public that questions what the government truly knows about paranormal and unexplained events. Thank you for spending time with us through Spookscope today. Feel free to share your knowledge and wisdom in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, my dear spooker, stay curious.